Good evening, Asla. We will wait like 3 minutes, okay? After 3 minutes, we will start. Okay, Nasla, we will start. Last day, last day you were disconnected suddenly, so I also didn't continue, Nasla, because without anyone, I can't do the lecture, no. So actually, I didn't do the lecture. I stopped at that point. Uh, so today also, therefore, we have to do the same one, right? I will just recap. I'll do a quick recap and the previous slides, right? Some of the slides we discussed, no? So we will do that and then uh, we will continue, right? Try to stay, it's like helpful others do, otherwise we can't do even the recording, right? Okay. I will share, right? Mm. Second, I'm sharing. Listen now, I want to change my Wi-Fi network, right? So sometimes while I'm changing the Wi-Fi, I will be disconnected for a while, then I will join again, right? Like 2-3 seconds, right? Just wait. Right. Let me share. Right. Okay, this is the slide we stopped, but I have to just revise what we have done so far. Right, so we were talking about, this is our unit 4, right? We have only unit 6, this is fourth one, and we have another 2 more lessons. Now here in unit 4, we discussed about online teaching strategies, right? Online teaching strategies. Under that, uh, first of all, here, like introduction, we discussed what is online teaching. Already we have done this in our previous lessons, right? So, online teaching is an art and science, requires ongoing professional development, because as teachers, when everything in technology changing, we also have to be updated, right? Therefore, to have good connection, good interaction with our students and to integrate technology well, we have to have ongoing professional development as teachers, right? Therefore, we have to do continuous learning, we have to develop our technological skills, and also we have to find new things related to our teaching methodologies. That's what I explain here, included here as pedagogical innovation. You know, pedagogy is the way of teaching methodologies. So, using technology, we do pedagogical innovation, right? Then we talked about, now you know, in online learning, especially in e-learning, most of e-learning uh, most of the parts, aspects in e-learning, we can take as online learning, right? online learning, right? In online learning, the most problematic thing is, right, student engagement. Because in virtual environment means, right, whatever we create as our learning environment, when we do online teaching, we call that virtual environment, right? Virtual things, right? Everything related to online, right? So, this virtual environment should be interactive, right? And also the other thing is, in online teaching, it is very hard to get student engagement, right? Therefore, we have to use some strategies to improve or develop students' engagement in virtual environments, right? When we do online learning, online teaching process, we need some strategies to improve, increase student engagement. For that, what can we use? We can use interactive multimedia content. These parts I have done, that's why I am like quickly going through. We need interactive multimedia content, real-time polling and feedback mechanisms, personalized learning pathways, gamification of learning experiences, multimodal content delivery, right? These are the things that we have to use as strategies. So I'm going to explain one by one. Some of them have already I explained on last day, but I'm going to just quickly explain all the things and go to the slide we have stopped, right? Interactive multimedia content is, what is that? What do you mean by interactive multimedia is, it is, we can say different kind of strategies, different kind of media types, all right, different kind of experiences that we can give to students for what, get their interaction, right? To get their interaction, we have to, now we use some kind of content while we are teaching, no? Right, here you can see I'm sharing this PPT, that is my content, right? If I like, if small children, here I'm like, um, always use PPTs for you, right? Because you are in tertiary education, in universities, right? But just think about small children. If we just use all the time PPTs and sharing the same kind of text, they will get bored. Therefore, we have to use different kind of types, different kind of medias, right? Like we can use videos, right? We can show some virtual contents, virtual augmented reality, right? Or virtual reality things as examples, right? Likewise, we have to combine multiple media types to teach, right? And also we have to allow learners to interact with the teacher. We can ask questions, right? We can give live quizzes. We can let them to explain something. Likewise, we have to get their interaction while we are teaching. Another strategy in in this, now we are talking about multimedia content now, right? So in this multimedia content, if we have kind of questions to get answers from them, if we ask them to read out something, right? If we ask them to share some document, likewise we can get their interaction. These content that we use as multimedia content should be interactive. That means should allow learners to interact with the teacher, right? If not, we just read out something, show something. It's not like that. Interaction means they also have to interact, they also have to talk, they have to give answers for questions, they also have to explain something. Likewise, it's like a discussion. And also, these interactive multimedia content should have to stimulate multiple sensory experiences. Now, when we teach, it is like they are getting kind of experience, right? Maybe they listen when we show them video, they look at that, they can see, right? When we explain something, they can hear, right? Likewise, we now when we do online teaching and learning process, we can't give them all the sensory experiences. In physical classrooms, we can let them to do some activities like touching, right? Like when we want to show something, we let them to take it to their hands and do. But here we can't do. For that, instead of that, what can we do here? We can show them some specimens or examples through virtual reality or augmented reality, right? If you don't know augmented reality or virtual reality, don't worry, I will show you later, right? It is like, I think you already know, it's even in our actually in schools, we don't use that much because we don't have that much technology in schools. But in if you have gone to some play game areas of shopping malls, you can see that augmented reality, virtual reality, right? Real world is created in front of our eyes through technology, virtually, right? So here also we have to use that kind of different content to stimulate multiple sensory experiences, right? Although we can't let them to touch something, but we can give the experience to some using some technology. At least they can hear, they can see, right? In some movie halls, right? Movie halls, these things are used like 5D movies, 3D movies. Likewise, there are different 3D is just seeing 3D images in the movie using kind of specs. But when we say 5D, they give us the real experience with movements, with smells, right? Likewise, even for students, we can use some strategies, right? And also promotes active learning participation. Active learning participation means they have to participate in discussions, they have to talk with the teacher, they also have to ask questions, share their experiences. So to get that kind of participation, we have to be keen as the teacher to use interactive multimedia content. In your content, if you ask questions, in your content, if you add something for them to explain, then it will be interactive. So it's your strategy, it's your technique, right? It is your responsibility to include these kind of things in your online teaching, in your e-learning, right? Then let's see the next one. This is interactive multimedia content. Even here, I have included types of interactive multimedia content. One thing, video-based interactions, as I told you, right? There are clickable hotspot, embedded quizzes, choose your own adventure scenarios, right? Interactive annotations, 360-degree video experiences, as I told you, right? Using virtual or augmented reality, we can create this kind of video-based contents, right? And also we can include animated simulations, right? Animated things, right? If we show them PowerPoint presentation, even in PowerPoint presentation, we can add some animations related to the topic, right? Sometimes we show them scientific process, right? Like how to do experiments, like sometimes the mixing of two different things, different components, and what happens, color change, right? All these things we can show even virtually, right? So virtual lab experiments we can give them, right? And also historical scenario recreation, right? Some historical events we can show as real things, right? Simulations means we make similar situation to some real situation. Now, it is not the real situation, but similar situation we will create to show them, to give them experience. Like we do in physical classroom, we do role plays, right? We do role plays. In English subject, we ask them to do role plays, like in thinking that they are in a bank, they are in a restaurant, how to talk with others. We create the similar situations. Here also virtually we can do that. And when we want to demonstrate mathematical concepts, then also we can use these virtual things. All right. And professional skill practice environments also we can create virtually. Right. Other than that, gamified learning modules, right? Games with games, right? Especially in computer-based games, there are computer-based games with lots of options, right? So through that, they uh, they can do by themselves too, right? Without even teacher, they can do some games. For some games, some gamifications, as teachers we can guide them. However, for small children we have to guide them. All right. So in those games they are created to give points, therefore we can say points based learning, right? So we can track their achievements, right? And also narrative driven learning, like whatever we want to explain nicely describe in short form, narrative driven learning, role playing scenarios, as I told you, competitive learning experiences when they do games, small competitions, then they feel that experience, right? So we can use this kind of gamifications also as these creative and interactive content, right? Now the second one, real-time polling and feedback mechanisms, right? Have you seen this? You have seen in WhatsApp also. We create polls we create because when we want to get choices of others, right? Understand others' priorities, to get others' ideas, we do these things, right? So So now see in which occasions we do these things during lectures, right? During lectures, now when we feel that students are bored, students are not paying attention, right? Especially for young learners, small children. After every 10-15 minutes, we can just do a quick question call, right? Like giving some 2-3 questions and giving answers. It is like multiple choice questions. Then they can like we can create it like a poll, right? So they can give their answer. We can check who have given, and we can discuss, right? Then they will be happy. They will be like break their uh, classroom difficulties, right? And they pay their attention. We call that ice breaking, like ice breaking something. We can do that, right? Question for one idea. And assess understanding of recently explained concepts, right? How can we do that? Assess means we evaluate, we assess our children uh, whether they have understood the concept that we recently explained. So for that we can ask some question. We can ask one child to give 1 minute summary of the concept. We can ask for explanations, right? We can ask their doubts too, right? And also redirect explanation if students show confusion. Now, when we understand, when we realize their status, their level, if needed, then we can again explain uh, the concept or whatever we have done so far. If they are not understood, then we have to explain again, right? So during lectures, during explanations, we can do this. Hmm? It is like feedback mechanism, because through asking questions we can get the feedback of them, either they have understood our lesson or not, right? Whether the strategy we use worked or not, we can find through that only. If we do like just explaining, lecturing without asking anything, we can't get that feedback, right? And also pre-class preparation means, all right, before the lesson, like I told you, we can prepare a quick poll and send them to get their prior knowledge, right? Accordingly, right? Whatever we want to know, according to that, we have to create this poll and we send it to them, share it with their inlets, maybe in WhatsApp or any other group. Then we can get some idea about their prior knowledge. That is also very useful to us as teachers, because we have to do further explanations based on their prior knowledge. We definitely have to get their prior knowledge. If we think like they don't talk, and if they don't give answers when we ask questions, then what we can do, we can share a poll before we start the lesson and get some idea about their understanding, their prior knowledge, right? Pre-class preparation and post-lesson reflection after we finish the lesson also. Now, I told you three things. During the lesson or lecture, we can do some things. Before we start the class, start the lesson, we can do something. We call that pre-class preparation. Even after we finish our lesson, we can do post-lesson reflection. You know what is reflection? Reflection is like we think back, right? We reflect ourselves, right? So, about the lesson, about our teaching strategy, we can get kind of reflection, all right? For that also, we can conduct feedback poll, right? Uh, like we can just ask very simply, lesson effective, lesson is not effective. They can give their word, right? So we can understand whether they understood or not. Or complicated things also we can ask in poll, right? Um, Whether we need to explain more or not, whether they get something or not. Likewise, we can get their feedback through polls and also gather insights on teaching approach. We can ask them to send their feedback, their insights about teachers' approach, teachers' explanations, teaching methods, right? And also we can encourage student reflection, right? We always have to encourage their reflection, letting them to give their comments about lessons and teaching methods, right? Now let's go to the next one. Personalized learning pathways. What are personalized learning pathways? Personalized learning pathways are, now I tell always, we are in inclusive education era, right? We don't discriminate anyone in classes. We include everyone in the classroom if they are age appropriated, right? That means we have to include everyone regardless of their differences. What are the differences have children have? What are the differences? Their needs can be different, their interests can be different, their knowledge can be different, their attitudes can be different, skills can be different, right? Also, their understanding level can be different, right? Also, they are coming from different cultures, right? Different religions, different uh, backgrounds, different families, right? Gender wise, they are different. They are girls, boys, right? And their everything, their parents, their economy, right? Their way of thinking, all these things can be different. Also, their capacity, abilities, talents are different. Even some children, there are some children differently able, there are some children with special needs, there are children with disabilities, there are children with learning difficulties. Likewise, there are different kind of children in the classroom, right? So when we do even online or normal classroom, if you use some method, common method for everyone, it is not much fair, right? Most of the time you can use a normal curriculum, normal way of teaching. But when you identify special children in the classroom, you have to differentiate your teaching methods, materials, teaching environments accordingly. We call that individualizing educational approaches, because we adapt learning pathways, we change learning pathways according to individual needs, or personalized learning pathways, we call, right? So in education, in teaching, as teachers, you have to use personalized learning approaches or individualized learning approaches. We call that like the common way we change. Therefore, we can say differentiation of teaching, differentiating something, right? Deviation from normal way, right? It is based on the child, right? So you have to tailor learning experiences to individual students' need. Tailor means here you have to change, right? Change. Uh, you have to tailor for each and everyone's needs, interest, right? Some children might like to watch a video. Some children might like to listen to teacher. Some children might like to do some hands-on activities. Therefore, the learning experience they like is vary. Therefore, we have to give different kind of learning experiences based on individual needs, right? No need to do the same way of teaching for all the children, right? Now, just think if there is a special needy child in the classroom, like Downs or autism baby, then when we ask others to write down in environmental lesson, if we ask them to write down all the parts of tree and explain functions of all the parts, we just ask that child to draw a tree or draw a part of one part like flower and color it. Likewise, we differentiate our strategies, right? Maybe we adapt content, change content for them while we are giving small letters, right? Small letters, documents for normal children. If there are visual impairment children, children with visual impairment, then we have to give like large size letters documents. Even if we have blind students in the classroom, then we have to give Braille document. So we have to adapt content, pace, way of teaching, and also teaching strategies, right? So you have to recognize unique student strengths, interest, and their learning styles. When I say learning styles, what are learning styles? There are lots of learning styles. There are visual learners, auditory learners, right? And also there are kinesthetic learners. Visual learners like to see something to understand. Auditory learners like to hear, right? They do audio recording and listen to them time to time. They like to listen to teachers' explanations. Visual learners, they like to see pictures. Through pictures, they memorize and understand things. Kinesthetic, they like to have movements while learning, right? That kind of children sometimes walk here and there while studying, right? Likewise, there are different kind of learning styles, right? Different learning styles. Oh, so we have to recognize those learning styles, and accordingly we have to create and differentiate our our teaching methods too, right? And also provide flexible progression through educational content, right? Flexible progression, that means we should not, especially when it comes to small children, we should not always expect uh, big progress from a child, right? If there is a small like special need child, if the child, although the child doesn't finish drawing and coloring all the things, the part they have done we can appreciate, right? That means always we have to be flexible, right? Even in evaluation, right? When we are teaching, we have to be flexible because we want to address different types of children, right? So here I have included some types of personalization. That means we are going to differentiate the things in teaching process, right, in different aspects according to students' needs, right? We call that personalization. Here, how we can personalize, how we can individualize, same term, same similar idea, personalization or individualization, right? According to person, we make the difference, or individual, according to individual needs, we do the difference, right? So, 1 second, give me 1 second, right? I have to connect the charger. Okay, right. So, as I told you, according to their needs and interest, we have to personalize, so individualize different things in teaching process. We can differentiate, that means we can change content. We call that content personalization, like using varied learning materials, right? Different media formats, customizing reading levels, tailored examples and context, right? Now, when we say diverse learners, right? Even children coming from different cultures and backgrounds, they understand through different kind of examples. So we can even change the examples we give according to their needs and their attitudes, right? Their uniqueness, right? Then the second one that we can personalize through pace personalization, right? Pace means here some children like to learn through modules, right? Some like to do pair work, some group work, some individual work, right? And we can use different uh, strategies like giving flexible time allocation. Some children need more time for completing tasks, right? We can adapt things, right? We can track their progress, right? Likewise, we can personalize pace too. And style adaptation, as I told you, there are different styles in learning, right? According to that, depend on that, we can change our learning style too, right? Sometimes if they are visual learners, we can show them lots of visual aids, visual resources like graphs, charts, pictures, flashcards, even videos, right? Auditory learning options like giving them to listen to audio, music, right? Recordings, right? Kinesthetic learning experiences. It's as I explained you, right? If they like to do lots of hands-on activities, right? Without just sitting somewhere, they like to do with movements, right? So we can give that kind of experiences. Mixed mode content delivery. We can use different learning styles, teaching styles together, right? So, content personalization, pace personalization, style adaptation we can do. We can use, right? We can use in personalized learning pathways. That is our third way. And then let's see technological enablers, right? Technological enablers. Now, what we are talking about now, let's see again to make it clear, all right? So we are talking about strategies to engage children in virtual environments. All right. Here we can use interactive multimedia content. We can use real-time polling and feedback mechanisms. We can use personalized learning pathways. Right. We discuss interactive multimedia content, types of interactive multimedia content, then real-time polling and feedback mechanism, and then personalized learning pathways we are discussing, right? So under that, we talked about types of personalized ways and technological enablers. Now, when we want to use different strategies in online, right? Different strategies in online, different different ways of teaching according to different needs of children. Technology also we can use effectively, right? Like artificial intelligence, AI we can use, right? Through that we can get recommendations, right? We can generate learning paths for special children, right? We can predict performance because it is very hard to address a different kind of children in classroom, right? So if you don't have enough facilities, enough assistance, then we can get help of technologies that we have, like getting help from artificial intelligence to understand children's, to generate their learning paths and predict their performance. And also LMS also, we learned about LMS. Can you remember learning management system? There also we have different options like adaptive learning platforms, comprehensive student tracking, personalization algorithm, integrated assessment tools. Likewise, in LMS also we have lots of options to use as technological enablers to differentiate. Uh, I use the same, I use all the words for your understanding, right? Differentiate, personalize, and individualize. For these things, we can use technology too, like this, right? Then let's go to the next one. That is gamification of learning experiences. You already know what is gamification. It is like application of game design elements, right? Including game principles, right? It is like now the educational context is non-game one, right? We are going to give different kind of knowledge, attitude, or skill, but for that we use games, right? Our intention is doing game. Intention of doing game is to give some knowledge, to educate them, right? So through games, why do we include games? Why? Because through games we can enhance students' motivation, right? Enhance students' motivation. Definitely, students will motivate because everyone, right? Especially small children like to do games. Not only small children, even adults like to do games, right? So when we include games in education, we can motivate them to learn well. And also we can increase their engagement because they like to engage in games, they will engage in lesson, right? And also improve learning outcomes when we teach something based on their interest, right? Learning outcome means the objectives that we want to achieve after we teach some lesson, right? So improve this learning outcome, this achievement will be developed when we include this kind of interesting things like games, right? And also make educational experiences more enjoyable. Nothing to tell here, right? Definitely it will be make more enjoyable when we include games, right? Then multimodal content delivery. What is multimodal content delivery? Let's see. Here we use, right, different delivery approaches, right? First, we talk about multimedia content. Content is vary, right? We change, we differentiate, we make different kind of content, right? Here we talk about multimodal content delivery. How we are going to deliver the knowledge, how we are going to deliver the content to students, the approaches that we use to deliver content, right? So one thing is we can present information through multiple sensory modes, like to hear, to see, and to watch. Likewise, we can change their sensory mode, right? That is one delivery approach. Accommodate diverse learning preferences. Here also, we have to think about their different learning styles. Therefore, we modify, we change, right? According to their preferences, their like and dislikes, right? The way of delivery we will change, right? If they like to just listen to a video about some scientific concept, just think about philosophy, right? We want to explain philosophy without explaining by ourselves, we will show a video, right? Part of the lesson we can do through that video presentation, part of the lesson we can explain, part of the lesson we can show some pictures, we can give a quiz. Likewise, we change diverse learning preferences. According to diverse learning preferences, we change our delivery method, right? Then they enhance their comprehension and retention. Retention means here, like while we are teaching, if they are not interested, they will not retain there, right? They will not stay there to listen. They will not pay their attention, right? And also they can develop their understanding, comprehension while we are showing them something using some different approaches, right? And also provides flexible learning experiences. Flexible learning experiences means here uh, While we are giving learning experience or delivery method, according to the students' changes, their attention, their responses, we can change the learning experiences, right? While we are discussing with them, if they tell that we like to do a live quiz now, then we can change that learning experience from lecture method to quiz method. So it is a way of flexible, right? We are flexible to change our way of teaching, right? So it's also another strategy that we can use in delivering content using multimodal ways, right? See some core sensory modes. All right. When we delivery content, we can use different sensory modes. One is, I already explained, one is visual modes. So in visual modes, what do we use? We can show them text images, infographics. Infographics means information we include like graphics, right? Videos, diagrams, animations, illustrations, right? Then what are the auditory modes that we can use? We just speak and do lectures, spoken lectures. We can use podcast, audio explanations. We can use sound effects when we make video presentations. We use sound effects, right? Background music, right? Sometimes we show some sound effects, clicking sounds, right? Likewise, music even we can include, verbal instructions we can give their auditory modes, right? Then kinesthetic modes, right? Kinesthetic modes are hands-on activities mainly, and also we can do interactive simulations. We can video on, if it is just online one, we can video on and do physical demonstrations, how to make a knot, right? How to do CPR or whatever we want to show, we can do as demonstrations. And also we can create virtual laboratories as we discussed earlier too. We can do role-playing exercises. We can do practical workshops, right? Not only online, even we can meet together and do practical workshops, right? So these are the four sensory modes that we can use. And some techniques. Some techniques, video lectures with interactive elements. Alright, video lectures with interactive elements, virtual simulations, scenario-based learning activities, adaptive learning technologies. I will show you uh, right some one video to show you. Now we are also have to use these kind of techniques, right, while we are lecture doing, right, in our lesson. Also we have to practically show that as a example, as an example, right? So I will show you how we can use visual modes and auditory mode, or especially auditory modes like audio explanation, sound effects. I will show you. Just give me 1 second. I will show you one video to understand that. This is how we're going to use different multi-modes and multiple contents. That's how we also have to use in teaching, right? So I'll do it practically right now, showing you a video related to this topic, right? Give me 1 second for that. I'll find quickly and show you, right? I have another very good video, but while I'm finding it, I found a good video that showing some e-learning, best e-learning examples. It is little bit lengthy, therefore I'm not going to show you all at the same time. We will just watch part of that, and we will stop and go to the lesson, and time to time we can watch. Let's see whether it's good, right? If it is good, we will definitely watch, right? Let me show. Let me share it.
Been designing e-learning for years, it can always help to see what's out there, get some inspiration, and push the boundaries of your own work. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 of the best e-learning examples that I've come across. If you've been following me or my content for any amount of time now, then you probably know that I am all here for the scenario-based, story-driven e-learning simulations where you as the learner can go in there and experience things for yourself, make your own choices, forge your own path, kind of like a choose your own adventure book. So naturally, those are the types of examples that I chose for this video, and I'm excited to dive right into it, so let's do that. So these first 3 examples I'm going to show you are from this website right here, ngpf.org, Next Gen Personal Finance. So I'm on their arcade page, and they have plenty of different learning experiences here that you should definitely check out. But I am going to start with, I think, my favorite e-learning experience I've ever found online, which is this one right here, Shady Sam. So students will learn the tricks of the loan trade as they play the role of a loan shark and try to maximize their profits. Okay? And again, this is all about personal finance. I am really passionate about that topic. So a few of these examples will be somewhat related to personal finance. But let's dive into it. So here we are. So this is Shady Sam Loan Shark. Okay, so shadysam.com is how we can get here. I entered my name, and now we can start playing. So check it out. Really nice pixel art, nice use of animation. All of the artwork is super cohesive, and it's pixel art, so it definitely has its own character. But we have male. The animation is making that clear. So here we are. It's from Shady Sam himself. So hi, Devlin. Welcome to your first day of work at Shady Sam's. Your job is to make as much money as possible off the backs of hardworking Americans. So basically, issue the loans that make us the most profit. Customers will come in with requests, choose the one that makes us the most money. Okay? So you can see where this is going, but let's see how things kick off. So we have this really bold red directing our attention to the door, and we have this cursor when we go over it. So we click this. Here we go. We have our first customer. They want to buy a convertible. Okay. So now we get these different loan options, monthly interest rates. So the monthly payments are all the same. We're going to go with the one with the highest interest rate because, again, our whole goal here as the loan shark is to make the most money. So there we go. We can see our profit just getting added to the top here. And let's continue. Let's see our next customer. So someone else comes in. Can I get 80 grand to open my new gym? Squats are us. And you notice the language here. Yo, Devlin, can I get 80 grand to open my new gym? Squats are us. Like, they did such a good job with the conversational tone in this project. Like, I really, really like that, especially because conversational tones are so good for learning. And it's just so neat how they did this. They put us in the role of the anime.
Okay, I'm not going to show all the video, right? If you want, I can share the link, right? We will see very simple video how we can include this e-learning ways in our teaching, right? Let me show another very good one, a small one. That give me 1 second, right?
My top 6 new Zoom features that you'll use in 2023. My preferred one has to do with breakout rooms, but more about it later. Let's now start with feature number 6. The new meeting chat experience. First thing, let's make sure you're running the latest Zoom version. From the desktop client, go to your profile icon, help, and then about Zoom. I'm running an older version, so let's update. Let's click again on the profile icon and then check for updates. At the time of recording in February 2023, Zoom is at version 5.30.
You have to watch because here it is explained very good things. What are the new updates in Zoom? Okay, we will watch this, right? It is helpful, I think. It will be helpful for you. 1 second.
My top 6 new Zoom features that you'll use in 2023. My preferred one has to do with breakout rooms, but more about it later. Let's now start with feature number 6. The new meeting chat experience. First thing, let's make sure you're running the latest Zoom version. From the desktop client, go to your profile icon, help, and then about Zoom. I'm running an older version, so let's update it. Let's click again on the profile icon and then check for updates. At the time of recording in February 2023, Zoom is at version 5.13.7. Let's download it and install it. When done, let's create a new meeting. I'm hosting the meeting from a MacBook Pro, and I'm connecting as a guest from a Windows PC. All the features that I'll show you in this video are applicable to both macOS and Windows. To make sure that the new meeting chat experience is active, you'll have to go to your web client. From the navigation menu, click on Settings, and here go to In-Meeting Basic Settings. Make sure that the new meeting chat experience is active. Here you have the option to turn on 3 additional features. Allow participants to delete messages in meeting chat, enable chat, and allow participants.
If you can't hear, let me know. I think I have shared with the sound, right?
And I'll turn them all on. Now that I'm happy with all the settings, let's try the new meeting chat. Back to our meeting, let's open the chat and let's type a message. Something like, "Hello, how are you?" Have you seen the new chat features? Now at the top you see many new options for formatting the text. You can make it bold, change the background color, change the color of the text itself, clear the formatting, make it underlined, strike through. You can increase or decrease the font size, and you can also insert a link, like the one to my course on OBS Studio to elevate your Zoom presentations, which you can go and check it out. Link in.
Now see, what I want to show you, now just think you are doing online teaching through Zoom. What are the features that you can use? There are lots of options that we don't use, right? So here we are discussing here 6 features, 6 options that you can use to make children engage, to make children interactive in the Zoom classroom, right? These are the things that we have to know. Right now, other thing is now I'm showing you how we can differentiate or how we can use different kind of multi-mode and multiple pace, multiple content in teaching, right? Not only just lectures, not only explanation. Now I'm going to show you a video. Through that video, you are going to learn some part of e-learning, how to use different strategies in Zoom classroom, right? So that's what you are learning right now. Okay, carefully listen, right? So there are 6 ways of making classroom engaging and interactive in Zoom. These features we actually don't use, right? Usually we don't use, but there are features that we can use to make the classroom active in online classes, right? So watch this, right? Watch again.
The description. You can also choose between different heading styles, create bullet or numbered lists, increase or decrease indent,
or quote. Another very nice feature is the possibility of taking a screenshot. So say you want to show some information that is on your screen or give instructions on how to do something. You can take a snapshot of the screen or part of it and then share it directly in the chat. Now you can also create threaded discussions by replying to a specific chat message, and all replies to a message can be expanded or collapsed, which makes long chat discussions with many participants much more easy to read. And the last feature is that you can now also add emojis. Feature number 5. Custom human avatars and camera off avatars. You'll find avatars in your desktop client settings. Click on the cogwheel and then in the navigation menu go to background and effects. Animal avatars are there since some time, but now you can also create your human avatar. Okay, let's create my human avatar. You can choose.
Look at this now. Now teacher can make the classroom more interactive, attractive, and fun, right? So rather than showing teacher's image, when teacher switch on video, they can see this avatar image, right? Even you can ask your children to use avatar image. Then the classroom will be more motivated and interactive. So see how it can happen.
Skin color, face shape, hair color, eyes, eyelashes, eyebrows, nose, mouth, facial hair, clothing, and glasses, which I need. I don't know, does it look like me? Now the avatar will follow your movements. In the meeting, click on your video options, select Show Avatar, and now the nice thing is that the avatar shows even if your video is turned off. So say you have a bad cold and you don't want to show your face. You can turn off video but turn on the avatar. So instead of having a fixed image, you show your avatar following your movements. Feature number 4. Meeting countdown timer. Make sure that the option Show Meeting Timers is enabled in your desktop client general settings. For spontaneous instant meetings, the timer will show the meeting duration. But now for scheduled meetings, you'll also have the options to see the remaining time. So say you've scheduled a 45 minutes meeting, the time remaining feature will help you realize that the meeting is about to end. And it's time to wrap up. Feature number 3. Broadcast mic audio to all breakout rooms. This one has to do with breakout rooms, but it's still not my preferred one. I've now given host rights to the participants on the Windows PC, so he can create breakout rooms and ask me, the macOS participant, to join it. So let's join breakout room 1, and now Zoom is prompting me that the activity status is being shared with the host. We'll see in a second what that means. And now as a host from my Windows PC, I'm broadcasting my voice to all breakout rooms.
Now I'm speaking as a host in the other room. You're hearing an echo because the sound is feeding back into this microphone.
That's very useful if you have to make an announcement or share some instructions that maybe were not clear when you explained them in plenary, or warn all participants that the activity is about to end. So what does it mean that the activity status is being shared with a host? As a host, I can see the engagement of a participant in the breakout room. I can see if they're sharing screen, whether they're muted, or whether they have their camera on or not. So I won't be able to see or hear any content, but at least I have a sense for their engagement. Feature number 2. Create and edit polls during a meeting. If you're finding this video useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so I can keep producing.
I explain in this lesson about polling, right? So you can understand it more further through this video. Look at how to make polls during lectures in Zoom, right?
Good content for you. Thank you. To make sure polls are enabled, go to your web client settings and then in Meeting Basic. Here toggle the Meeting Polls quizzes. And now you see that host can add polls before, like it was already available, or during a meeting. You can choose whether the host can create advanced polls and quizzes. I'm not covering the difference between normal and advanced polls here, but if you want me to create a new video, just let me know in the comments. Then you can choose whether an alternative host can add or edit polls and quizzes, or require answers to be anonymous. Now back to the meeting, and let's click on Polls Quizzes. I want to create an advanced poll, so let's select this option and click on Next. Let's create an advanced poll with a couple of random questions. You cannot participate in a poll as a host, so let me join the meeting also with my phone. I'll launch the poll, and now both participants have answered. And my preferred new Zoom feature that I'm sure you'll use in 2023 is create breakout rooms based on poll results.
Now listen, these breakout rooms are very good feature, right? If we can create breakout rooms in Zoom, you have heard about this. I think sometimes you have used these breakout rooms, right? While you are doing lecture, lesson, or even assessment, evaluation, right? We can keep students in breakout rooms, right? According like, it's like having groups in a physical classroom, right? So let's see how to do it.
Let's go back to the web client settings where we left it before. On purpose, I didn't talk about one option in the meeting polls quizzes, and that is allow host to create breakout rooms from poll results. So let's make sure this is active and click on save. Now back to the meeting and let's create a new advanced poll. For each question, you have three options. Make it required, show as a drop-down, but most of all, create breakout rooms. Duplicate this question and create a third one. I'll launch the poll, and now one participant has opted for choice 1 in question 1, 2, and 3, and the other participant has chosen the other option. Now at the bottom of question 1 and 2, you see the option to create breakout rooms. That means that breakout rooms will be created automatically based on the answer that each participant has given to the poll. Participants will be split, and they will only have to click on join breakout room to be placed in the right one. That has a number of very interesting potential applications. Like you can do a knowledge assessment and then split participants into two breakout rooms. For example, one for beginners and one for advanced. Or you can ask participants, do you want to discuss topic 1 or topic 2? And then based on the answer, automatically assign them to the appropriate discussion room. What are your preferred new Zoom features? How you're using them? And maybe have I missed something? Just let me know in the comments below. There's actually one huge feature that is very recent that I've not covered here. And that's because it deserves a whole video for itself. It's the new Zoom Whiteboard, a tool that Zoom keeps updating almost at every release. It's now become a state-of-the-art whiteboard, comparable to Microsoft One. And if you want to master it, just check this next video. With version 5.14, Zoom has
Likewise, you can find lots of like content, like different explanations through internet too, right? So I will share this. If you didn't understand like suddenly, then you can leisurely listen to this.
brought to us a series of improvements.
And also there are series of explanations of the same person's videos, right? Now, when you use your Zoom meetings, Zoom classrooms, Zoom tutorials, then you can use these features. Actually, we don't use most of the features, right? And he talked about that interactive whiteboard too. If you know, in Teams, we have interactive whiteboard. Even Zoom, in new versions, we have interactive whiteboards, right? So now I will copy this and send to your chat box, right? We need the previous one.
My top 6 new Zoom features that you'll use in 2023. My preferred one has to do with breakout rooms, but more about it later. Let's now start with feature number 6. The new meeting chat experience. First thing,
Option. I have lots of things to show you, but we don't have much time. Therefore, I will, without sharing next video, we will just explain the lesson. And if we have time, I will show you, right? One interactive one I have for young learners, how we can make the classroom interactive. That one I will share later, right? I shared the link for Zoom features, 6 new Zoom features. Now we are talking about how to make online e-learning or online classes more interactive, more effective using new technologies and strategies, right? It means like strategies to make the classroom engaging and interactive in e-learning, right? That's what we are talking. Share the, lesson now. It's our lesson. Right. 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 So we were talking about co-sensory modes, right? Even we can use visual modes, auditory modes, and kinesthetic modes, right? Then some techniques, right? Like video lectures with interactive elements, right? We can actually, as teachers, we can make different kind of video lectures, right? Including our voice, right? Including different animations, including pictures taken from uh, internet. Even we can make our own videos, recording something, right? Recording some scenarios, we can include that into our video presentation, right? We can use apps like CapCut, Video Show, TikTok to make our video lectures, right? So in that video lectures, we can use interactive elements, right? And also we can create virtual simulations using same kind of apps or different apps, right? And also we can include scenario-based learning activities based on some incident problem. We can create learning activities and give our students. And also we can use adaptive learning technologies according to the needs of children, diversity of children. We can use adaptive change learning technologies. All right. How can we facilitate online discussions? Just think. Now it is very hard to engage children in discussions, right? Even you are like that, no? So we haven't used to. We are not used to do this kind of discussions. Even in physical classrooms, it is very hard to engage children in discussions, right? So we have to use some. Uh, kind of strategies to make them engage in discussions. How can we do this, right? So when we start a lesson, right, we have to set some expectations, some objectives for participants, and we have to let them know what they have to do in the lesson, right? How can we do that? We have to establish clear guidelines for participation. Like just in our classes also, we can include some guidelines to switch on videos, right? And also we can include some guidelines like monitoring attendance of participation, right? Likewise, we have to give them clear participation guidelines first, and we have to let them know the expectations or objectives of participation. Like before we start the lesson, we can say through this lesson we would like to, if the student will be able to do this thing, student will be able to use Zoom new features, right? So practically we can let them to use it and show, right? So there are clear expectations, and we give guidelines to do that practical thing, and we monitor, right? So if we make it compulsory, if we give these guidelines before we start classes or courses, then they will follow. And also creating structured discussion prompts, right? Um, right now, like this, we can group children in Zoom, then we can make group out breakout rooms and keep them there. And we can ask one group to start discussion, another group to give their comments on that, right? Explain. Likewise, we can create some structured discussion ways, right? Or else we can make some teaching aids to show them and give them to explain one by one, right? We can divide parts of discussion to different groups or among individuals, right? Then they will do it definitely, right? And also we can use discussion forums strategically, like asking questions, giving some online quizzes, using some different contents, we can make them engage in discussions, right? Encouraging diverse perspectives when they give their ideas. Like we can do like this, we will give them one topic and ask them to give their own perspective. Like if I ask what is your educational philosophy, then everyone has to explain their own education philosophy. Some will tell that my education philosophy is child-centered. I think technology integration should be done to education. Some can say this exam-oriented education is not worth. Likewise, letting them to give their perspectives. Maybe we can use debates, conversations, discussions, brainstorming sessions for that, right? Brainstorming means we make a storm inside brain. To listen to lots of uh, ideas of others, giving their own ideas, letting them to express their ideas. They make a brainstorm inside, and they will develop their thinking abilities through brainstorming, right? So to encourage diverse perspectives, we can conduct brainstorming sessions, debates, discussions, right? And also promoting respectful dialogue, right? While others are explaining something, other children should listen carefully without disturbing and also should appreciate. So we have to teach them these qualities. We have to ask them to follow those values, right? Then only we can promote respectful dialogue without disturbing others, without ignoring others, right? With respecting others, right? And provide timely and constructive feedback. Timely and constructive feedback, most of the time in e-learning, online learning, we don't give feedback suddenly, right? Now in physical classes, teacher goes around and look at books, check books, and mark them and give rewards or happy faces, stars, and however, she appreciates and also give the feedback at the same time. But here in online classes, how can we do that? We have to use some strategies, right? Uh, Especially when we can't see our students, then we ask question and we get the answer, then we have to give the feedback at the same time, right? Without delaying, right? Timely we have to give the feedback, then only it will be worth, right? Otherwise students also forget, teacher will also forget to give feedback. So you have to use some kind of constructive feedback too. What is constructive feedback? Now, if children give answers for something, we can just say it's wrong or correct or incorrect. It is not constructive feedback. But in constructive feedback, we give some comments to improve them, right? Like if the answer is incorrect, then we have to say why it is incorrect and how can it make correct, right? Especially in mathematics problem solving, you can say explain step by step how to do it, right? In If the answer is correct, also you have to explain why it is correct, and also the things to be more to improve your answer, improve the student's answer, we can give more comments. So if we make some construction inside them, if we make some improvement through our feedback, we call that constructive feedback. So especially in online teaching, we have to provide timely and constructive feedback, right? And also, like in physical classrooms, uh, in in these online e-learning classrooms too, we can implement peer review mechanisms. This is a very good strategy to get their involvement in lesson, to make them engage in lesson, right? How can we do that? We can ask peers to give comments about one student's presentation or answer, or we can ask some student to share their works and exercises on the screen, and then we can ask other students to give their idea about the peers working, right? Worksheet, maybe homework, maybe presentation, whatever the peer has done, we have to get others' reviews, others' ideas, right? We call that peer review mechanism. In online classes, we can do that. Through that, we can make other children engage in the classroom, right? So likewise, we can use different strategies, right, to facilitate online discussions. So other thing, now when we do e-learning or online classes, it's a big problem, crucial issue that about collaboration, right? Now in physical classes, they meet each other, they interact each other, and they can work collaboratively, they can do group work, they can discuss. But in these online settings, how can we do that? How can we make the learning experiences collaborative? For that, we have to specifically, carefully include some strategies, right? So these are some strategies that we can use as collaborative tools and strategies. One is breakout rooms. Just now we listened to watch that video, how to make breakout rooms in Zoom, right? Likewise, we can use breakout rooms to do collaborative work. Some students do their group discussions, they do studies together, even through Zoom, right? So we can make breakout rooms. We can create group project platforms. Like now, just think simply in your Google Docs, right? You can use Google Forms, Google Docs, and Google Sheets. And at the same time, you can share document collaboration while you are filling here Google Form. Other friend also can do it online at the other end, right? It's like that. Now, just in Google Forms, we fill at the same time, right? At the same time, I also can, you also can. Likewise, we can collaboratively do work, right? When we want to make a presentation, we can use Google presentations, Google Slides. Then I make here one slide, another one make another slide, then collaboratively we can make the whole presentation. Likewise, we have to let them to use these kind of options to make collaborative learning, right? And virtual whiteboard technologies, when we share the interactive whiteboard, at the same time I can write something, right? I can write the maths problem, and on the other end, at the other end, students can solve the problem on the whiteboard. They also can write down their topics, their ideas, letting them to do those things on whiteboard. Then again, we can develop collaborative learning through online. These are some collaborative learning designs: structured team assignments, peer learning groups, cross-cultural collaboration opportunities, problem-based learning scenarios, right? So giving one problem to solve by all together with discussion, right? And giving different cultural ideas to share, right? And as we discussed earlier too, peer learning groups we can create, and they together they can discuss, they can do different projects using platforms like shared documents in Google, right? And also they can do team assignments. Nowadays students through online also they discuss, study together, right? So we can encourage these collaborative learning designs, collaborative learning ways. And another problem in virtual classrooms, e-learning platforms, how to manage virtual classroom. Right? For that too also we can use different strategies. One is dynamic classroom management strategies, right? First of all, we can establish some digital ethics like in physical classrooms. We are having rules, regulations, ethics, norms and values to follow. Likewise, here also we have to talk about them. We have to establish them and inform. And also we can monitor their participation. That is very important, right? If we don't monitor, student will never join classes, right? We have to monitor that. So for that also we have to have some rules and regulations like uh, monitoring their attendance. If they want to sit on exams, then they have to complete that percentage of attendance. Likewise, we have to establish some rules, right? And also addressing technological challenges. Now see, when we have technological problems, technical issues, although we want to participate in the classroom, we may disconnected, right? We can't hear properly, we can't switch on camera, sometimes we can't unmute. Likewise, we face lots of technological challenges. Some students don't have proper devices, they don't have good signal strengths, right? Internet facilities. So, as teachers, we can address them into some extent. If not, we can get help of authorities, get help of uh, principal in schools, management. Through principals, we can request for facilities like smart boards. We can request from ministry or authority, zonal officers, right? Likewise, we have to address technological challenges. Ensuring inclusive virtual environment. Inclusive virtual environment means that is also related with challenges, right? Some children, if they don't have devices, signal or internet, they cannot participate, right? But inclusive means all should be included regardless of their diversities, right? Their differences. Therefore, we have to ensure that we have to check whether all the students have facilities, right? All the students have signal, internet, devices, facilities, resources, support from parents. All these things we have to check and help them if they are in some background, right? Underprivileged settings, then we have to help them to ensure inclusive virtual environment, right? So that's how we have to manage virtual classrooms. And also when it comes to technical and social considerations, right? There are some things that we have to consider, right? Like as we uh, discussed earlier too, right? Equitable access to technology. When people don't have equal access to technology, we use a very specific key term for that, right? If you can remember, I think I told you once, right? Digital divide. Digital divide is due to some reasons, everyone cannot access equally to technology. Therefore, there is a deviation, right? Divide between different groups, right? Digitally, they are divided. Some people have resources, some people don't have resources. Therefore, some people don't have access to technology, some people have. So, we call that digital divide, right? and supporting students with diverse learning needs. Right, we have to consider, as we discussed earlier too, how to support students with diverse learning needs. Now see, there are special need children too. Physically, sometimes, although we can help them, when we do virtual classrooms, we don't know how to help them. For that, we have to get support. We have to get consultation from professionals. We have to talk with parents. Sometimes we need to get support from parents. Parents also have to engage in classrooms to support special needs children in virtual classrooms, right? So, however, we have to overcome that challenge too. Creating a supportive online community, yes. All right, when we do virtual classrooms, online classrooms, we need the help of others like administrative support, technological support. For that, we need online community to help us, right? In school communities, like there are technology people, there are administration, like management. So all these people together have to give the support for the teacher, right? We call that creating supportive online community. Maybe sometimes parents also included in that community, like helping their children to engage in classes and join to online classes at correct time, letting them use devices, right? Helping them to get internet and all. Likewise, parents also can be included in these online communities, right? And also maintaining academic integrity, right? So the classroom should be academic actually. When we do education through online, it's not like having fun or some other thing, right? So we have to keep that integrity uh, uh, among all the academic fields, right? We have to maintain that too, right? These are the things that we have to consider throughout our virtual classrooms. Now, the most important, most crucial problem in online learning is like they are not self-supported, they are not self-directed. Children are not self-directed, right? Therefore, we want to support it, we want to develop it, self-directed learning, right? How can we do? We can empower their autonomy. Autonomy means here they are. They have their own independency, right? Their authority to make decisions, right? So if they feel that they have to join this because this reason, right? Because this reason, uh, if they are motivated, then they will join, they will participate, they will be engaged, right? So for that, we can develop metacognitive skills of children. Metacognitive skills are thinking of their own thinking, right? Like it is similar to, a little bit similar to reflection, right? They think about their thought for, right? They can think whether should I join this or not? If not, what will happen? These things they can think by themselves. And also creating flexible learning modules. If the learning modules are flexible, interactive, then they will develop their autonomy. Flexible learning modules means here the modules content that we give them, right? Whatever the material that we give them should be very flexible to understand and flexible to differentiate, right? Then only they like to use them, right? Providing self-assessment tools like in games, in some online quizzes, they can assess themselves, right? Using different tools, right? It's like when they give the answer, automatically they get the feedback. So they can do their assessment by themselves, right? Even without the teacher. And also encouraging reflective practices. That means they have to think about their success, their learning way, right? The materials they use, they have to reflect on that, whether they are successful or not. And also we can use scaffolding strategies. That means scaffolding means here peer mentoring, right? Peers, other children can help each other, right? For that, we have to have clear learning objectives, structured learning resources, progress tracking mechanisms, personalized learning recommendations. So this strategy also we can use creating online virtual platforms, right? These are some principles that we have to use in online virtual classroom. Some strategy, when we use strategies, these principles should be considered, right? Always we have to use flexible instructional designs, flexible for children, right? If they are rigid, if they are burden for children, they will never like to engage. Technology as an enabler of learning. That means if the technology is some complicated thing for them, if it is disable their learning, then it is not work. It should be something enable learning, right? Student-centered approach we have to use all the time, letting them to do as they like according to their interests and needs, right? Letting them to express their ideas, letting them to do hands-on activities, getting their own experiences, and also always continuously adapting, changing, including new things, creative things. Then we can use new strategies. Likewise, we can develop our strategies toward e-learning, right? These are the things that I want to explain here. So in conclusion, I'm telling you, all right, in online teaching as teachers, right, we can use lots of strategies, right? Finding from technologies, finding integrating technologies as I explained in that video, using different features given by technologies. Other than that, as teachers, we also have to have some creative ideas, innovative things to make the children engage in classrooms, because all these strategies we use to make the children engage in classrooms, right? Because virtual environments are not uh, not much friendly to make student engaging, right? Therefore, that's why we have to make the environment more engaging, more attractive, more interactive. For that, we can use different strategies under these topics, as well as some more interactive things according to the teacher's creativity, right? uh, According to teachers' new innovative ideas, we can use different strategies, right? Okay, now we have finished fourth one. We have only two more lessons, right, Nasra? So if you have any questions, you can ask. If not, if there are doubts or if there are unclear things about this lesson, you can ask. Hope you got the last day also. I think I shared the this document. If you want, I can share again. I hope you have, right? Hmm? No questions. Okay, Nasla, then thank you for engaging in the lesson actually. Because of you, others also can at least listen to record, otherwise it will be a problem. No? So we have to cover the lectures, cover the units. Without covering syllabus, we can't go for exams or anything. Ne? So thank you for participating. Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.